Greetings, aho, namaste. This is a brief discussion about the lunar eclipse this morning, 8:16 Universal Time, 3:16 here on the East Coast. It's a lunar eclipse on the winter solstice during a Mercury retrograde. Very rare and auspicious. Libra is the ascendant for today. Libra is the sign that indicates the personality, the nature of what this eclipse has to do. Will be doing with us, for us, what we'll be seeing in our lives. The ascendant of Libra has to do with fairness. It'll be a time of greater fairness, more balance, more justice in our lives, in our societies. We'll be more hardworking, more intuitive. It'll be a time of greater visions. We'll all have greater visions, more psychic, more mystical time. It'll also be a time where money is not as important as our inner gifts, our true wealth, our true abundance, which is spiritual energy, creativity, mystical, psychic abilities, caring, consciousness, social issues, environmental abilities, taking care of the earth and the people and the wildlife. It's also a time that will be there'll be a lot more compromise in the air, more harmony, more gatherings, more community, a time of celebration. We're getting into this is 2010 is 2012, as my experience has showed me. 2012 is a time of celebration, which is again something I've experienced, and also talking directly, personally with a shaman, a Mayan shaman in Guatemala, and he said the same thing, that for the Mayans, 2012 is a celebration. And it's a time that's coming for more serenity, more peace, more paradise, more childlike innocence. It'll also be a time of scientific breakthroughs for the benefit of humanity, helping the earth, the people of the earth, as science was initially meant to do. And it's a time of greater divine love. Mercury, Venus is the ruler of Libra, and Venus relates to divine love. And also Venus is in the house of Libra, which it's in its own sign, which amplifies the benefits of Libra, or amplifies the benefits of it that it offers. And offering divine love, it's just amplified even more. It means it's more noticeable. It'll be more noticeable in our lives, in our hearts, in our families, in our communities. It's a good time just to watch, to eat healthier foods. We'll all be more concerned about that as well. Taking care of our health, our children's health, with proper foods, avoiding white sugars and excess rich foods. It'll be a time where our emotions get healthier too. Good colors for this time will be blue, violet, purple, and the pearl, the gem pearl, will be a good stone as well during this time. Venus also relates to the arts, to divine beauty. So what that means is everything we look at in this world we will see so beautiful as if it is divinely beautiful. We see, oh, look at that sunset, look at that tree, look at that person, look at that career. Everything will be seen glowing with the love of God's heart, Spirit's heart, nature's heart, whatever it is you believe in. Substitute those words. I'm not saying that there's only one way to see this. It's a time of friendship. It's a time of harmony. So this is all what Venus in its own sign, Libra, in the first house, in the Vedic. This is the Vedic astrology chart. I think I did not mention that earlier. So this is the Vedic chart. If you're looking at the Western chart, scratching your head, saying, what is he talking about? This is the Jyotish chart placed. Now, in the K2 aspects this first house, K2 is the south node of the moon, the dragon's tail, and it relates to liberation and mysticism. And so this is a time where we're all going to be experiencing liberation and more mystical life, where all of our psychic gifts come through for everybody. It's just, psychic gifts is just caring enough that there's no distance between you and anyone else. Your heart will not allow that to happen. Okay, now Jupiter is also in its own sign. Jupiter is in the 6th house, the house of physical health, which, as I alluded to earlier, we're going to be more interested in our spiritual health, in our health. And the root of all health is our connection with spirit, with nature, with divinity, with eternity. And that's what Jupiter is forecasting here, that we will have our interest in spiritual health. And with the spiritual health connection, everything else falls into place. It's really the core, the key. Get to that root and everything will grow. Jupiter also aspects the house of career. So everybody will be, people in general, maybe not everybody, more people will be interested in doing careers that help them feel like they're connecting to their divine spirit, to their life purpose. Jupiter also aspects the 12th house, the house of loss and liberation, where Saturn is. Saturn is the spiritual disciplinarian. Jupiter is the spiritual expansion planet. And together, when they're acting together like this, you have a very good balanced spiritual life. You're not too far out there, and you're not so disciplined that you become rigid and harsh. So there's this good balance between east and west, between expansion and contraction. And whatever things that we lose during this time, love, material possessions, people may be passing on. Being in the 12th house, it means that it's going to help us with our own spiritual realization, our own liberation. So if you can see it that way, test it out, see if it's really true in your life. If you experience it that way, then great. If you don't experience it that way, then I just send you blessings to feel better in whatever path you vision you walk. And now, with all that great news, there's one more really super piece of news, and that is looking at the life purpose that this birth chart suggests for humanity. And what's interesting is 7 of the 9 planets in the Vedic system traditionally we don't use Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. We look at the 5 planets and north and south node of the moon. So 9 planets, 7 of which are in or aspecting our life purpose. So our life purpose is wholly absorbing us right now. We have the moon nurturing. The moon is in the 9th house. So it's our life purpose now is to nurture. The moon is the mother. It's a time for us to find balance between our female and male energies, the female and male aspects of our heart, female and male aspects of our heart and mind. K2 is in the 9th house, the house of life purpose. And so it's a time of liberation. Our life purpose is to become spiritually realized and to help others become spiritually realized. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Some other things I want to go back over for Jupiter. Jupiter aspects the 2nd house, the house of education. So people will be more interested in spiritual education, self-realization. In the Vedic system, we say everything in this whole creation is within eternity. And eternity is soul, and we are soul, so everything is within us. There's nothing different than us. And the way to know that is to go within inside, go into the core of your heart, go into the core of your mind's heart, and you'll find your soul, the self-realization. When you know yourself as eternal, then what can be beyond eternity? So this is what spiritual education is, and it's the key for people will start to realize this is a time to look within. And by looking within, all of life unfolds for us. We're taken care of. We don't have to manage the outer world. We only have to know ourselves. To know ourselves, automatically, we know the outer world. And that unfolds for us. Our basic necessities, food, clothing, and shelter, love, will all be provided for us. It's also, the second house relates to language. So people will be speaking the language of love, of Jupiter, of divinity. And this, to me, is the language of the heart. It's the language before the Tower of Babel. And lastly, we look at, in Vedic astrology, the planet that's influencing us most at this moment, and it changes over the years. At the moment, it's Rahu, the north node of the moon, the dragon's head, and it's called the Mahadasha, the major influence, the major planetary period. So Rahu gives us higher visions. So right now, this part of our new life, we're all going to get downloads from higher visions of how to live, how to unlock and unfold our caring, our loving, our eternal love, our divine love, our psychic gifts. All of this comes integrated from the soul and the heart and the third eye. And the enlightenment comes up through the crown chakra and connects us with the oneness of ourselves, the divine eternal heart, the divine eternal God, the divine eternal soul, the divine eternal spirit. So that's my little take on this lunar eclipse. Hope it helps you. Let me know, leave a message or some questions, and wishing you joy, joy, joy.